This is Spiritual Soul Sliding Sideways, Chapter 22, Dark Happiness. This sweet treat, this dark dessert, makes me high, makes me happy. There seems to be something about being a human being. We are born seeking a way to maintain some form of stimulation. We spend our whole lives chasing anything and everything that will help us feel good. When we are open, it is the simple things in life that can make us happy. The smallest things can entertain us when we do not have defensive walls in our way. The simple side of life is a part of many vivid memories. I remember when something as simple as a kid's show would come on and it would make me happy. I used to hear songs that spoke to my core and made me feel the way I wanted to feel. I thought I would be capable of always feeling raw and new emotions. I grew older and I became a little more closed off. When I became closed off, it took things in life to be a little more intense to be happy. The more I grew up, the greater the intensity I needed to be capable of feeling joy. The harder my heart became, the further I got away from my core. My core was a place of complete openness and joy. My core was a place of negative memories and emotions. I wanted to stay away from my core and still be happy. I wanted to feel without having reminders of my self-complications. I desired intense emotions that made life like it was worth it. The things in this life that seem to give pleasure to the human mind are dark intoxications. We ferment alcohol. We get cocaine by soaking coca leaves in gas. Acid, LSD, is its own form of toxicity. Sex is a dirty act. The darker we can make things, the more it seems to get us higher. The mind reacts to this darkness with joy and pleasure, especially when we need to feel. The variations of how much darkness a person can handle can also determine how dark it can get for someone. Some people can handle a little darkness for a little high. Some people can handle a lot of darkness to get high. No matter who we are, we still respond to certain kinds of darkness to be happy. Selfishness is the dark desire that we all possess. Everything we want that we do not need is a dark desire. Gaining something for ourselves fuels what makes us happy. Even when we help someone and that makes us happy, we still gain something for ourselves. We must recognize the reality of this world. We must understand what it means to be lost in a fallen world. Also, we often seek fallen things to find happiness. We get high off the darkness. We are the darkness that desires the light for dark reasons. Selfishness is natural, and we are born to absorb everything we need and want. We never go a day when we do not need someone or something in some way. When we want to see the truth, we will begin to understand true human desire. We wrap human desire in what we can feed on for a better emotional high. We do not emit light by our nature. We allow what we desire to enter instinctively. We should give love. We often love someone we trust to let in. We share our energy with someone we love and trust. When we do not feel the energy from someone else, we are less likely to love them. Love can be a dark desire too. What motivates us and catches our attention is what we believe we love. We can love a song, we are letting it into our minds. What we are saying is that our love for a song comes from the way it nourishes our emotions. If we love the song, we should work on making a joyful version. We shouldn't depend on the song to make us happy. We can't expect a song to love us back. Still, we enjoy its beauty, often forgetting to give anything in return. There is selfish love. There is selfless love. We need to understand when we use the word love the wrong way. Selfless love is when we give energy without hopes of any return. When we're in love, we sense love coming back. We don't think about whether it will be returned. Two people can only reciprocate love when they give and receive, not take. Being in love is when two people give an equal amount of energy to one another. Selfish love is when we give love and expect someone to give it back. When we expect love back, that is when we are not being loving but selfish. Expectations of love are selfish. Two people should reciprocate when love is introduced. If two people are not ready to give to one another, then love is put on hold. The dark side of love is when we expect love back once we have given love. When we expect love back and our motives are selfish, that is when we are most likely experiencing lust, not love. Lust is when we expect something often without giving anything back. We can experience true love and joy when we give and receive. We can choose to give love in hopes we will receive. We can choose to take from someone without giving. The highest high is usually selfish. When we can receive without giving, that is when we feel it is something we deserve. When we feel we deserve something is when we can bypass common sense and reasoning. The lighter sides of life and the darker sides of life can both be dark depending on our motives. We should always ask ourselves what our motives in life are. The dark thirsts arise from the hardest hearts. It takes a special intensity to touch a hard heart. We crave intensity in life because we've shut the world out, yet we still seek it for entertainment. The more darkness entertains us, the more we need darkness for entertainment. Life's darker side grows deeper when we crave intense darkness. This need can become unhealthy. Unhealthy extremes are when we jump out of a plane without a parachute for the ultimate thrill. The greater evil comes from the numbness we get from using darkness. We end up in a downward spiral when we choose dark ways to get high. We can find it hard to escape a downward spiral when we need to stay happy. The need to be happy can push us deeper into darkness. This is because the pursuit of happiness often creates more darkness. Happiness is a shovel we use for digging. The happier we are, the faster we dig. We need to stop wanting to be happy to get back to a place of normal happiness. It would be like standing in a hole. The happier we want to be, the deeper our hole becomes. It is only when we stop wanting to be happy that we stop digging. When we stop digging is when we wait for the dirt of patience. The dirt of patience fills the hole because for each moment we practice patience, we add more dirt to the hole. When we stop, we are allowing the dirt into our hole. The addition of dirt to the hole represents peace after negative issues. When we stop, we open up to more than happiness. We sometimes need to step away from being happy to work through all negative emotions. The negative emotions are what we are running from to be happy. The negative emotions represent the dirt that begins to fall into our hole. Running from negativity is when we dig ourselves deeper into a hole. The more we use selfishness and dark intensities, the faster our holes become deeper. The pleasure of this world are the sins of our dark desires. Sin is the choice we make that only involves self-happiness. Our own wills power selfishness. We should always consider that we are taking on darkness, even when we do not mean to. This world offers so many ways to be happy. It is sad that all the ways we can be happy come down to feeding our needs and wants. We can become so dark that all we think about is all the ways we can be happy. We can begin to sacrifice our ability to be safe and to be happy. We can sacrifice everything in our lives to be happy. We can become consumed by the need to stay happy. The effect happiness has on our spirits is that we push our spirits aside. We choose to replace spiritual happiness with carnal happiness. Spiritual happiness is a selfless thing. Carnal happiness is completely self-focused. Carnal happiness relies on earthly pleasures. The more we rely on earthly pleasures, the harder it is to find spiritual happiness. Life is simple. Our lives are simple. What makes life complicated is when we need more than the world has to offer. We can create a need that is impossible to satisfy in any earthly way. We can create a hunger that goes beyond what we can ever satisfy. Any form of darkness and earthly pleasures can create a sense of emptiness within us. We can go to deep places, feeling a steady dissatisfaction with all that life offers. When we lose ourselves to the things in this world, we lose our ability to have freedom. The kind of freedom we need is spiritual freedom from dark suppression. We cannot depend on earthly freedom that sustains us. Earthly freedom will draw us in, leading to a complete absence of feeling. We need to understand the impact of earthly happiness on us. We need to understand how stuck we can become once we form a fleshy dependency. I have always wondered what I could depend on in this life. I had thought there was a way to depend on things in this life to continue feeling better. I never knew how much getting everything we want in this life could hurt us. The more we get, the more we have an opportunity to abuse everything we can get our hands on. The more we abuse what we have, the more things can go wrong. We abuse things that can make us happy in life, as our selfishness leads us to make excessive demands. When we act with selfishness, our cravings can feel like they have no end. When we cannot get enough fast enough, we have developed an insatiable hunger. An insatiable hunger is super selfish. We can love eating and stay overweight. We can love sex and get STDs. We can love drugs until we overdose. We can love alcohol until it ruins our liver. We can turn everything we love into everything that seems to be trying to kill us. When we are happy, happiness can be the neglect of responsibility and reason. We can become so engulfed in what we love that we spend all our time chasing it. Something can possess us so much that we can start to personify it. The things we wish to possess and control can become our greatest obsessions. What we possess can possess us. Everything we enjoy, we become connected to. When we become connected to things in this world, we begin to believe we cannot live without them. The mind can become so attached to what makes us happy, we will do anything for what makes us happy. How possessed can we become? How happy do we need to be? It is understood that what makes us happy will not last. Even if we find happiness and can maintain it, how often we need to be happy can become all we care about. We could justify getting what we want versus paying our bills. We can abandon all things we should do to survive to maintain a second more of happiness. What we do to have control can begin to control us. When we love something that makes us happy too much, we start bowing down to it. We can love what we want so much that we worship what makes us happy. When we worship what makes us happy, we start seeking solitude with what makes us happy. We can decide to cut out anything that doesn't bring us joy. When we isolate ourselves for happiness, we become slaves to our happiness. Happiness is so tricky because you cannot balance it. When you have a desire for a certain type of happiness, you become its slave. We can't find balance if we need 150% to be happy. Balance is about being 50-50. When do we lose control and become more than slaves to our happiness? We become more than a slave to our happiness when we are willing to do anything to obtain what makes us happy. What happens when what makes us happy goes beyond reality? When what makes us happy goes beyond reality, we can become the darkness we seek. When we become darkness, we then become the darkness that wants to absorb anything that will help us fill. What level is our hunger? What does it mean to stay unsatisfied? We will continue to want happiness even when our happiness is unhealthy. The problem with being happy is what we never forget how happy we have been. When we reach a place where we can fill our hole with dirt, something will remind us of how happy we could be. When reminders of how happy we can be come to us, we may start digging our holes again. We should accept a lower level of happiness. This way we can feel satisfaction with greater ease. I would like to eat one bean and not be hungry. I would not want to eat 1,000 beans and feel unsatisfied. The prison that being happy can become is a prison of the never-ending search and need for more. We should not seek never-ending happiness. We should focus on finding ways to be content. We need to learn to be content with happiness that will not destroy our lives. The simple kind of happiness we can find will never replace how happy we have been. If we ever want any lesser happiness to be enough, we need to surrender our desires for blissful happiness. We need to give up on blissful happiness. We will uncover a new kind of happiness when we surrender to being content in a simple way. It will take less time and energy to feel content and remain joyful. This comes when we embrace simple happiness. I have worked a long time to seek out spiritual happiness. We compromise our spiritual happiness by what feeds on us and what we feed on. Bipolar disorder and depression affect us when our spiritual energy is drained. Everything and everyone we connect to has an invisible energy need. A person we think can make us happy can require 90% of our energy. What we thought would make us happy can become our energy drain and undoing. We can seek material possessions in life, and each item we own may require 1% of our energy. We become drained when we reach 100% of energy loss. We can become so connected to things and people that we can be overdrained. When we become overdrained, that is when we begin to lose our ability to focus and function. We are spiritual energy. We must realize that everything our souls connect with can either add energy to us or take it away. We take spiritual risk when we choose to connect to anything without caution. We need connections to feel less alone, but those same connections can drain our spiritual energy. Connections we think we can feed on us. We can get away with feeding off others, but then we become what drains others of their spiritual energy. I do not want to live this life to become like a fallen angel. I may never be the light in this life. I can recognize how important it is for me to manage the energy I have. I need to live by managing my spiritual energy with spiritual maturity. We grow spiritually mature through our connections with others and our surroundings. We may want to live and let connections be what they are. With free energy living, we will find ourselves on a spiritual roller coaster. We need to take a spiritual inventory of our spiritual connections. We need to regulate how much we can afford to connect to things or others. We need to understand when we are over or under connected to the people and things in our lives. Our desire for happiness can blind us. We might ignore healthy connections to feel happy. The mistakes we make in life are when we believe we can exist and everything will balance out on its own. Connections in life do not work themselves out, but universal law still applies. The universe self-corrects, but the choices we make require effort to amend. When we make choices, we must deal with those choices. Our choices are not erased because we choose not to think about them. The universe has a way of creating its own balance, even when we think we are in control of our connections. The universe does not correct our choices. The universe only corrects how strong our connections will stay. We can neglect someone and believe we will stay connected. Reality monitors the strain on connections. Over time, reality lets those connections break on their own. The darkness can be like a lullaby, like a succubus calling to you. The greater amount of darkness can make us feel great. The darkness can become the light. We live in a world that does not often make sense because everything is not as it should be. One thing can be exactly what it is. Another thing may only look like it is what you want it to be. You can see a pickle and eat a pickle. It can smell like a pickle. You can see a baseball glove with a perfect shape and it could be a cake. Darkness is the deception of this world. Darkness is the most deceptive force on the face of this planet. In some way we seem to want to be deceived. We want to deceive ourselves when it seems we will get what we want from this life. We most likely do not see the truth of this fallen world. The light of the earth is a lesser light. If you compare the earth to something amazing, you will see how dark it truly is. I believe that darkness tempts us because it proves how selfish we can be. In a world where everyone gets what they want, we would see how happy people could be. When everyone gets what they want, they may feel complete contentment or greed. We can serve God's will for contentment. We can serve evil for greed. Serving God's will, we can get what we need without any bad consequences. Serving evil is a hole to hell. I had believed that people could access pleasure in some manner, and that it was universal. I thought we could tap the light for pleasure and strength. I have learned we live in darkness. We live in darkness where our odds of being able to tap into the light are a great challenge. Tapping true light is a great challenge when you live in a world that has always been dark. The Bible says it took 3 weeks for the angel to reach Daniel. This delay was due to the demonic prince of Persia. We are dark beings who are happy with the lesser light. We live for what is lesser light because we do not remember the experience of true joy and pure light. We settle for darkness and lesser light because we sometimes need a fix for happiness. The greater our stress, the faster the fix we need to be happy. We can want everything to be instant gratification all the time. We love instant gratification. The more instant gratification we receive, the less patience we have when it comes to being happy. We will always be attracted to what adds to us without sacrifice. Our need for connection to happiness can drive us further into the darkness. Connection is a need to be a part of a fuller circle. Connection takes away and gives to us. We need to be able to feel more than ourselves. The sense of belonging expands into other people and many things. The purpose we need to feel sometimes can draw us into anything, whether it is light or dark. We experience innate needs every day of our lives. We are bound by the Creator while we are the creation. There can be confusion when both dark and light make us happy at the same time. We will not be free on earth if darkness makes us happy in some way. We will never be free of darkness. We seek out light while we live in this realm of existence. Our bodies will always embody the darkness that surrounds our spirits. Our spirit will always be the lesser light placed inside an empty dark vessel. I try to rise above need. I try to be the light. I understand that earth and humans will always be the darkness in need of light. The sun shines on the earth to light the earth each day. I am the darkness, writing about our shared darkness. We all need more spiritual light. I write from the darkest perspective because darkness is the truth of all our words. We speak darkness into darkness. We do not speak light into more light, or we would have become the creators instead of the creations. We need to consider what light is and can do. We need to wonder about how light can create an empty vessel or a full vessel. We are the empty vessels of God. He created the body to put the spirit in. I have imagined what it would feel like to be the light. I do not mean having a lot of energy, but being the energy from which all light comes. We are the empty vessel that possesses the light, but the body without our light is dead. We live in darkness and die in darkness, but when we die, I believe we become part of the light again. Our bodies are the ground that disconnects us from our spiritual light. We can only connect to our spiritual light by connecting to our core. The physical body was not meant to be the harness for true light. I believe there is a reason why God said that to see Him would kill us. Our looking at God is like a flammable cloth looking upon a blowtorch. Everything about this experience keeps us lost in darkness. I have been able to be free by lessening my subjection to darkness and lessening my need for more light. Our needs and wants will always be the cage inside a cage called our bodies. We have no more than what we possess. What we have is all we have to work with. If the sum of what we had was 100 stones, we would have no more or fewer stones. We could move those stones around as we liked and see if it changed anything. In the long run, all we still have is 100 stones. We can only learn from the 100 stones. 100 stones can only reveal the information each stone possesses. We can believe we can be more than darkness. We can consider we may receive happiness from others, which is lesser light. We might consider we get most of our happiness from darkness. We must understand that happiness can come from anywhere, so the best we can do is limit and moderate ourselves. Whatever gives us pleasure and makes us happy can complicate things. We want to limit our pleasure and happiness because we want to stay in control of ourselves. We do not want what makes us happy to control us.